build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance.
Hello everybody, welcome to the third episode of The Match. I'm Matty.
I'm Colin. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate, yeah.
Busy recording day. Busy recording day today.
Aye, literally just off it in Twitter Spaces. Really good chat, a good crowd on it today. It's always nice after a win. I always wonder whether it's busier after a defeat and everybody wants a moan, or if you get like a good result like yesterday's, where folk want to come on and still a bit buzzing about it. Like after the Aberdeen game was like our numbers went up a bit because it was a big win, an important win, so folk come in and hear it. But then you also look at what happened after the derby, like when it's like a bad result, it's like fucking whoosh, skyrocket. Everybody wants to come and have a wee whinge.
I know, so, it's a funny one, but then it's I've not listened to it yet, obviously. Busy day today, but squeezing this recording in between going to the women's game and then doing Longbangers for proper night. But I'm suspecting there might be, was there any, I'll need to listen to it later, obviously, but was there any chat, if you remember to record it, but was there any chat about us winning the league or anything like that? Are we back on that train yet? No?
No, Jimmy thought we might get third. And I was like, I think it's because of the as much as anything, the decisions that lot are getting now.
I'd like us to challenge for it. I'm frustrated that despite the positive I'm taking from it is we're 8 points behind. We've 3 points away. We've lost points because of refereeing decisions as well. They're getting loads of decisions, but I think we're all in a kind of mindset because we lost the derbies again, and because we keep getting told this is like their best season ever, and one of your worst seasons ever. We've got no clarity, too big a squad, all that stuff. That we're thinking we're worse than they are, and they're thinking we're better. They're better than they are, and we are as well. And then you're going, it's only 8 points. We've got to play them twice. Now, we all can, like, we've got to play them twice.
So 14 points in.
14 points. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, on paper and in theory, it's not insurmountable at all. In practicality, we know we'll go to Ross County and throw 2 points away, or in that case, that's one of the refereeing ones. But we've got every chance of going to Livingston and getting a doing in a couple of weeks' time, or a month's time.
Aye, right. We'll save this chat for Longbangers later on, because we only have limited time on the match, and it's just really to focus on the game itself. It was good. I went through sort of last minute. Josh had texted me on Thursday night. He says, Josh hasn't been feeling well. He's not feeling well. Do you fancy going through? He says, I'll shout you a ticket. So if you drive,
good for him.
He says, if you drive, I'll shout a ticket. I was like, aye, deal. That's fine. So we just made a last minute decision to go through, and Raymond was looking for he said everybody else is going, so we picked up Raymond and just made a wee David, and then our pal Colin rocked up as well. So
did he? Did he go?
It was good. He was just sitting beside us too. So cracking
by
day.
Coincidence, like.
I told him where our seat was. And he got one just beside us.
So I meant to follow up and see if he was going, because obviously I'd said in the morning, but I couldn't go. But the daughter's football and all that kind of stuff on. But that's good day out. Good when you get a win as well.
Oh, aye, definitely. So starting 11, if we start there, one change I think from Tuesday night, which was Chris Cadden going out and
Egan
Riley. CJ Egan Riley. I think I struggle to remember his name, Colin. I'm bad with names anyway, but I think I'm struggling. I'm calling CJ. And I tell you why I remember the CJ bit, and this will only mean something to you, right? And it's not an exact quote.
TJ, is it?
TJ is Cassie's brother.
And funny enough, that ties Colin, their friend Colin, back into the whole thing.
So it's just a wee reference that only Colin and I and other Colin would know. It's not even right, because that was TJ, but that's how I remember CJ. I think CJ was Pamela Anderson's character in Baywatch as well.
Oh, was it? Was there not a CJ in... did you ever watch Reggie Perrin? My dad used
No, but there was... I'm not familiar with Reggie Perrin. I'm sure I've seen it, but it doesn't stick in the mind. But you're right, there was, because it's been quoted on Hibs.net. Anyway, so he came in, Chris Cadden dropped out. I think the rest of the team said the same. Any surprises there, Colin? Anything you would have done differently?
I was surprised at that, actually. The other change would have been McCarthy in for Nisbet.
Of course, I forgot, because McCarthy finished the game. That's right. Nisbet dropped out because of his injury.
But obviously that was an obvious one. Well, unless they've got to chuck Hoppy in. But I wasn't surprised. I think I was probably surprised Cadden was out, actually. I didn't think he had done that bad. But obviously, I fancied to have a look at the new guy, which is interesting because Miller's been there and never had. This boy's just jumped straight ahead. They both, it looks on the face of it. So, unless Cadden's still carrying a bit of a knock, because obviously he did. I mean, there was rumours he was going to be out for a while after the derby, was it? He went off.
He was playing with injections, I think.
So
that's how he injured himself. They want to stop him. It's like playing with injections is something that you would do.
3 games in.
To cause damage, yeah.
3 games in 7 days or 8 days might have been the reason that he was out rather than form or ability, possibly. But yeah, so not massively surprised, but a wee bit. Just depends on the circumstances, I suppose.
And the conditions of the game as well were very similar to those on Tuesday night, which was passion with rain. Rain was swirling about. It's like you couldn't even really judge what way the wind was going. One minute it looked like we had it at our backs, next minute we were running into the wind. So very, very tricky conditions. What do you think the start Hibs made that we?
I thought the start was good. Aye, the start was good. I don't remember many chances, but we felt like we were the better side early on and the more likely to score. I think overall we were the better team as well in the game and deserved. If anybody was deserving to win it, we were the team deserving to win it. Although it was a game of I've not looked at the stats. I rarely look at the stats. Unless my daughter reads them out to me, that's the only time I ever really get to hear them, or I'm on here. But it didn't feel like there was loads of chances in the game, which I'm fine with if you're coming away with 1-0. Said that before, but it did feel like we were a better team as well.
I think the first half we had Campbell sort of flashed one, the McGeady cross in, and Campbell sort of flicked at it, and it went just wide, and then Yuan took one off of McCarthy's toes and got a shot in that the keeper saved. I think that was really like as much as we did. McGeady had a free kick that he put wide. That was a mental one. See, when he hit it, it was at the other end for us.
That's right.
It looked in all the way. People were like, yes. And then you're going, how's that not a goal? It was like a proper optical illusion, eh?
Really?
In all the way. And then clearly it wasn't. And I watched it on the sports.
It wasn't far away.
Nah, it was further away than it looked.
Aye, but it was a decent effort actually. It just didn't. It was like if he was about half a yard, say, further out, it was in.
Aye,
I wasn't saying it.
No, keeper was never near it. McCarthy, I thought the game hinged or pivoted. Is that the right word for it? When McCarthy got injured, so Hibs were
I think transition. That seems to be an inward.
I know. I think we'll get in trouble for using it in this context either. I thought Hibs were totally dominant. So Mirren really weren't troubling us, and then
I wasn't even talking about that. No. I was talking about fucking football
tactics.
Transitions.
I know.
You're talking about political shit, right? By the way, that court case is a total plant. Like that's a complete. Anyway, come back to that Longbangers or something.
Aye, that's for another day. But McCarthy. And looked us over and didn't look at the time. I thought maybe the boy had caught him at the time, but then saw it on Sports Scene last night. He's planted his foot and he's just buckled underneath him, and he went down. His shoe was off and everything. Again, it's one of these ones where they've gone.
Because I thought the boy had caught him actually, and you see it back. It was just pure bad luck. It looks like probably I've not seen a diagnosis or nothing yet because I'll probably get scans, but maybe ligaments. But it looks the way, or rather than a break.
I said he'd rolled his ankle. So I did this because I like to relate injuries to my own injuries. Everybody likes to tell you about injuries that they've had.
Your sporting career.
From a sporting career. So when I worked for the bank, we were away down at Beckingham in London for a sports day. You go down. So we're playing fives. Playing fives. Literally the first challenge of the game. Ball gets kicked off, goes forward, and it's a 50-50, me and this other boy. He was slight favourite for it. I've got to just after him. He's leathered the ball, and I've got to kind of block it, I suppose, or make the tackle. The ball scalped my ankle, or my foot. Twisted my ankle one way, and then I landed, and it went right round the other way. And it was like immediately my ankle just went like swole up, bigger than my knee. Fucking used to have to go to an ambulance up to the hospital. They did the X-ray and they said it's just a sprain. They just said you'd recover quicker if you broke it. He said it's that bad a sprain. You would have been better breaking your ankle. And it was, I think I was 8 weeks or so before. It was maybe 4 weeks before I could put weight on it. And then about 8 weeks total recovery on it. So if
they say that sometimes, breaks are easier than ligaments and.
Well, look at Craig Gordon.
I know. His leg was facing the other fucking way, and
I mean,
back.
he made a meal of it, and actually it's not turned out to be that bad. So, hopefully McCarthy's no badly injured. But after that, I thought with Hoppy coming on, McGeady went out to the right hand side, and I thought we lost a lot of balance at that point. Do you think St Mirren changed their tactics, or do you think the shift was just like our enforced change call?
I put it down to their change. I'm not sure if they changed anything. I don't pay much attention to that kind of thing. I meant pay attention to Hibs, and I didn't know if they made any changes tactically, but I put it down to their change. But that could be completely somebody out there that's tactically aware might say I'm talking shit.
No, I thought because we were quite affected down the left hand side, but McGeady. Although I think McGeady could have done with being rested yesterday. He wanted to play the game at walking pace a lot of time. He actually nearly cost us 2 goals in the first half. One where he was waiting on the edge of the box for the ball to come in. He was just standing. So the player was like, this boy's no fucking paying attention. I'll just jump in. And then another one where he passed it straight to Curtis Main.
Was it him that done that?
Aye, I mean, he played it in.
Shite finish. That was the difference in the game, really, because Johan took his chance and Main fucking put it into I don't know, Greenock or wherever it landed.
It was something like that. I mean, it's funny because Main looks at after it, he looked down at the pitch as if that's the problem, and I'm thinking, we've watched you for years. Aye, we get how good you are. That's nothing to do with the pitch, mate.
He scored the other night, and that's him. He's quite his fucking mate.
I know. I thought he was Haaland.
Because that was terrible. Because Marshall was way out his goal. He had he must have passed it to McGeady or something. And
he was
running. He was scrambling back across.
Aye, I mean, it was really we were lucky we got off the hook with that one because a good striker would have punished us there. Like you say, Johan tucking away the chance for a similar range. Curtis Main and actually the St Mirren attack. So St Mirren, my observation was they cross the ball into the box as early as they can, and they get bodies there, and they use the physicality really well to trouble the defence. Paul Hanlon and Will Fish, I thought absolutely bossed them. I mean, Hanlon gets criticised for no standing up to strong challenges. But what do you think of Hanlon's performance yesterday?
I think the defence in the last few weeks have been solid. Like we've obviously, because that goal the other night wasn't their fault. You know what I mean? It's like you could argue that they should have got in front of Marshall or something to help him out, but actually it's a fucking foul, right? So we've covered that. So that's you can't claim a clean sheet, right? But other than that, they never let a goal in. Never let a goal in yesterday, and the game before that was 6-0. So 3 clean sheets in a row. In inverted commas. By a goal that everybody apart from Craig Levine and 2 referees think shouldn't have been disallowed. But they're just doing the basic stuff, and like it's refreshing for me. Like just having defenders just fucking defending, just headering it and getting rid of it. It's good.
Leon on Spaces, when we were talking about it there, we were talking about the difference in not having Ryan Purchase in the defence, and I was sort of made the point, so you need to be careful you didn't mistake correlation with causation. And say like it's because Ryan Purchase in the defence is defending better. And Leo made a really good point, saying that Purchase played probably with a lot of pressure on him because there was the expectation that Purchase was, again, inverted commas, better than just a clear defender. Like he would bring the ball down, it was up to him to kind of create play, and that's something to come into positions or situations that got him into trouble. And he's probably, I think that's quite a good point, quite a good observation for Leon. I just thought it was kind of interesting because we had a few tweets about Purchase.
That ball player stuff as well caused issues because he would try and play a ball that he shouldn't across the box, or like a silly pass that you think. Where I think these two are just going fuck it, diagonal it, corner.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And it's no the Hibs way in that. So fucking what? Winning's better.
Aye, well, absolutely winning's better, and I think there's evidence. Like look at how folk learn from mistakes. Fish had a similar situation to the one at Tynecastle that cost a goal, and he put it out play. Just cleared it up, didn't try anything clever. Just dealt with it.
I'm fucked if I know what he was. Still come back to that. But that's actually tarred his whole time here, because when he came off the bench a couple of times before that, he was all right.
Aye, fine.
Nothing notably wrong. He made an absolute fucking mess of it in the derby, and it's the derby as well, and it's the first goal, so it's a fucking shambles. And then he's been really good since. So he's made one absolute fucking howler, but other than that, he's been actually decent. So hopefully he is as decent as he appears to be, and we can maybe get around to forgetting about that mistake at some point.
Aye, totally agree. So I thought Fish and Hanlon were outstanding. So we got into half time 0-0. Second half kicked off. Not a lot really happened in the second half. I thought it was like a nothing game for ages. The conditions played a real big part. And really the turning point in the game where it transitioned back in Hibs' favour was when Joe Newell took a knock and had to go off, and Ewan Henderson came on. So we've been quite critical of Ewan Henderson, and I said this on Spaces, right, and I'll hold my hands up when he came on, I saw who was coming on. I said, Raymond, I was, oh, fuck's sake. Right, my expectations were not high, and I'm delighted to say that I had to give like kind of eat my words. Aye, totally, and I'm happy about that, like, because you want to be wrong in these things, don't you? Henderson got involved straight away, got stuck in, played a cracking pass through to Ewan for the goal. So what did you make of the goal in general, Colin?
It was just a sort of fast. It was I can't remember it. I remember him running through and scoring it, but it was Henderson that passed it. But he was maybe on his own halfway line, and he's just
crossed the halfway line now, right on the touch line, yeah.
Aye, so decent ball, and it was just having somebody quick through the middle, as that's the kind of opportunities that you get, innit? So aye, it was well played. It was a good goal, good finish. I think Harper on the telly called it a bit of toe poke. I think somebody in sports scene might have said the same, and folk have taken offence to that. But so fucking what? Like it's not a bad thing that it's a toe poke. It's fucking went in.
Aye, it's a legitimate way to kick.
It wasn't like he never meant it.
Aye,
like he meant to fucking hit it with his tees. It wasn't like he mishit it. You know what I mean? It was a good finish, good goal.
He prodded it like that. If you prod it at home and didn't say toe poke, folk would just go, "Aye, fair enough." But it's same movement, isn't it? I thought you did really well with it. So first of all, the pass for Henderson, because the ball comes past Hoppe, who doesn't go for it. I think he gets a shout for Ewan. Ewan collects it, turns the defender, and we thought maybe he was going to try and play for a foul, like try to beat him and get pulled in and get a penalty. But he never. He just stayed on his feet, had a wee look up, and then found the bottom corner. Cracking finish in the end, really.
Yeah.
And I tell you what was good was the scenes in the away end when it went in. I mean, the place fucking erupted.
Boys on the touchline
and which is, I think if you look on Twitter, there's a photo of a lassie that looks like she's getting a selfie with Ewan as he's celebrating. He does like pretending to sleep. She's just standing like this with her camera, and I think it was the Twitter account Hibs Allison had said, "Does anybody care who the lassie was?" And somebody else had come up with, here's the footage, and she wasn't taking a picture, it's video. So it's just like fucking the screaming and the noise and that, the crowd, and like the phone's wobbling and everything. It's fucking superb. And I thought after we scored, I felt we needed another one though. Like I wasn't certain that we were going to see a 1-0. How did you feel in that sort of last section of the game?
I didn't feel it. I didn't feel under any real threat. Like again, it was like Ross County the other night. I didn't think they were going to score. Like, and I didn't think St Mirren were going to score. I thought it was first goal the winner. That's what I thought. I think when I was sitting watching it, and it was. But I thought that the other night as well. And you don't know what's going to happen or what the referee's got to do, But I didn't feel we were really under any threat. The only chance I remember them having was Main's when he ballooned that he should have done a lot better with. Other than that, I can't remember Marshall having anything to do.
I think Marshall had one save for Megan as well. Aye. I mean, they brought on Tony Watt, and he tends to do quite well against us. And I was a wee bit like, fuck, here we go.
Aye, and Nicolai, I thought he might have won. That's what I was meaning though. Maybe winning a penalty or something. Is more what I was thinking.
And you feel like we've got a mistake in us sometimes as well. Like it would just be somebody sclaffing a clearance for a corner or them getting a lucky break. That would be the only really way that I would have seen them coming back into it. But at 1-0, you have that risk, don't you?
What did you think of the boy Hoppe?
Hard to tell. Like I think he's come off the bench in a shite game. I think it's hard to judge anybody in conditions like that because
I don't know what his games has been like before he came as well. I don't know what his match situation is and that.
But I said to Colin at the game, he's got first game adrenaline. When players do that and they run a bit like they're possessed. He was doing a lot of that, a lot of energy expended in the in the game.
Yeah.
Didn't really kind of do much. Had one chance where he sort of sclaffed a shot back at the, a low save for the keeper, but really, really easy save for the keeper. He looked right quick. It was quicker than I thought he would be. Aye. And I think that's something that Johnson looks for in the forward. Says if we've got a bit of pace, then that's like an attribute that he wants in the side. He'll fit in. I think he could probably play off the shoulder of the last defender.
Right.
I was going to say the last shoulder, but you've only got.
And did he look overly tall? Kind of like we're obsessed with height.
I think he looked about right for the height that he was described as.
So that's not going to go against them in the eyes of the fans, then.
Nah, okay. You wouldn't. Nah.
So he's not too tall. He's not too short.
Exactly. Look, just about right.
What do you think we'll pick up on then? What do you think the sort of characteristic will?
Surname's going to be a problem. I think that already I think it's one of the. I mean, Yuan's obviously coming into his own now, but I would still say the biggest criticism. There's no really a criticism of Yuan so much, but Johan. There's variations of his name that are coming in.
Johan and Johan now, isn't it? It's just how you do the.
Well, no. So Johan, you would say that's all right because it still reflects the letters that are in his name. Johan,
right,
with an H. Johan and Johan coming in there, and I'm thinking, well, if there's one thing, I don't know, if there's one thing that's going to chip up his Hibs career, it's that. Because you think all the nobody gets Stanton wrong, Stevenson, fine.
Stevenson's small, but he gets away with it as well, which is funny. He must be the same height as Lee Johnson or smaller.
The other names, I mean, even Hanlon when he had his Rocky spell, you could trace that. But yeah, that's what you could trace it back to Lee Johnson called him Hanlon, and you go, well, had he not been making that mistake, Hanlon's form probably wouldn't have suffered. And even when you've got like Benjamin, every shorter that to Benji, so easy. Zamama couldn't really get that wrong. And I think that's a trait. So Yuan, everybody, just call him Yuan. And Kukovic probably wouldn't have got injured if everybody was getting his name right.
That's right. And it's Hoppy, by the way.
It's Hoppy.
We had that clarified.
We did for the club. Anyway, we saw out the win. Great scenes at the end with the players all coming up to celebrate with the
didn't see support. That? Turned it straight onto the rugby, which was fucking excellent, by the way.
The peanut cuddling.
Excellent.
It was great to see the players and the management coming over. There was a right bond. We talked about that a wee bit on the spaces there as well. So onwards and upwards, Colin. Like the next game's home to Kilmarnock.
18th. Yeah.
18th,
what did you think of Jago? Is it Jago or Jago?
Jago, I think it is. I like him. I think he's
part of that defence we're talking about. Solidifying the defence. It's not just about the two centre halves doing the job. It's about having that guy in front of them there. And he's made Newell and that look a better player as well. Which Kenna did for a wee while.
Well, what I was going to say there, Colin, was I like him. I've seen loads that I hadn't seen for Kenna. Maybe not yet. I think he's maybe got that wee bit of experience and a bit of a calm head, and he gets involved a bit more than Kenna did in his time at Hibs. I think I don't want to judge him too early, as we've spoken about before. Did he get carried away? 3 or 4, is it? Is that his 4th one? He made his debut against Hearts, Aberdeen, Ross County, and then. So 4 games, 2 of them in really, really shitty conditions as well. Like first one's Derby. That's a fast-paced game, very difficult one to make your debut in.
Yeah.
2 in really shite conditions. It's hard to judge any player in. So we'll see how he does. But I like him. I think the players around him trust him.
Yeah.
And they lets them play with a bit of freedom, and he does the simple things well, which we need. We've talked about that with the defence, especially.
Yeah.
I
like him. I like him.
Right, that's us out of time for this one. 1-0 win. Good to get a sort of wee bit of an unbeaten run on the go. We'll be back tonight. So for subscribers, and if you want to subscribe, you'll get Longbangers, you'll get the match. Obviously, this one you'll get them all ad free. You'll also get extra time tonight. We're going to do a wee Lewis Stevenson special just to commemorate his landmark achievement, which we've not really talked about in this episode. We will cover that a bit more on Longbangers. That'll be a nice chat that we have. You can go on our Twitter profile, click the wee link, and you can subscribe for all the extra content. And it'll give you access to all the stuff that we've recorded previously as well, if you wanted to go back and review any of the episodes. Colin, I'll let you crack on with your afternoon. Speak to you again this evening. And thanks for listening.
Cover the women's game when I come back on.
Aye, there's enough you can tell us about that.
Aye.
And we'll talk about the boys playing in the Champions League on Tuesday night as well.
Aye.
A lot to cover there. Right. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.